Hey there everyone, welcome to Jason Explains Things. I have been on a project marathon on my 3rd gen Toyota Tacoma, getting it ready for the 750-mile long Oregon backcountry discovery route. So now we're moving on to the final of the 3 big projects I want to do on my truck. I'm going to be completely utilizing the bed rack every side and the top of it now with carrying equipment and a rooftop tent. And then we're going to move on to the Softopper. I've used it for years now. It's great. I've done a long-term review on it, but unfortunately, the thing that I personally dislike about it the most is dust. It's probably not going to be perfect, but I want to make it better. So this process is going to be a mix of installing some new equipment and then moving around and kind of reorienting stuff that I've had for years to kind of just make everything work well for this very long trip. Very, very excited, and we're running out of time, so let's get to work.
Check the description for all the parts and tools I'm using in this project, along with links to videos on the other upgrades I've done in this series, including remote reservoir rear shocks, bed stiffeners, and a complete 12-volt auxiliary power overhaul. Let's start this project by prepping the truck to carry a rooftop tent. The Softopper gets in the way for these steps, so I removed it, which is not as easy as it used to be before the rack was installed. Since I'm installing a wedge-style rooftop tent, I need to temporarily remove everything from my roof rack. Some items will be reinstalled later. The Prinsu rack makes it very easy to remove or reconfigure items mounted to the rack. I have an older install and review video on the Prinsu rack linked in the description, along with a discount code. My bed rack is from Peak CNC Machining. It's designed to be height adjustable and compatible with Softoppers. I've really enjoyed the rack since installing it, which is covered in another video linked in the description. When I first installed it, I set the rack's height to be level with the Prinsu rack.
But you really want at least 2 inches to accommodate for bed flex and that kind of thing, especially when you're off-road. When you don't have enough clearance between the two, it sounds like this. So we really don't want that, so we're gonna have to go ahead and loosen every lock nut on the bed rack. We're gonna raise everything up by 1 inch, and we'll put it back together. Well, that's as easy as the height adjustment is. Now we just need to tighten everything up again, do the other side, make sure it all matches, and we're good. I am a fan of the Peak CNC bed rack. I love the design, I love how it's height adjustable, but I do recommend setting it at the height you want and not having to redo it, because that is a lot of nuts and bolts and kind of a pain in the butt. Anyway, we can now move on to mounting our Go Fast Campers quick mounts that correspond with the Go Fast Camper super light rooftop tent that I've had on my 4Runner now for almost a year. It's worked great, very happy with it. There is some issues that I will show you later on, but these mounts are great. You want to space these exactly 35 inches apart. Because it's on a continuous track, it doesn't matter how forward and aft they are, but obviously it does have to be centered exactly correctly, otherwise it won't line up just right. And I have some stainless corresponding hardware. You have to get kind of the special shape in here so it mounts flush. I do not recommend using the type of hardware that has like a Phillips head or a flat head, because it's difficult to torque this down correctly. I recommend using the type of hardware that uses an Allen wrench, and I will link to some down in the description for you if you're doing the same thing as me.
The 1 inch of extra space between the bed rack and the cab rack, combined with the 1 inch from the new Quick Connect mounts, will total 2 inches of clearance between the tent and the cab rack. And if you're enjoying this video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe for more. Also, do you like this setup, or would you rather have an enclosed space like a topper or camper? Let me know in the comments. And thanks to my channel members for supporting my videos. If you want perks like early access to videos, on-screen shoutouts, and exclusive updates, consider joining the membership today. Thanks.
The only other thing I don't really like about this tent is there are these little guys here. They're to keep the straps from flapping around. They are all systematically going bad, kind of one after the other. But again, because it's super light, it's kind of fabric and a hard shell at the same time, so you know, you make some compromises. It's not that. It's not that. All right, over here on the driver's side, let's talk about shovels. So this is the shovel I've been using for 2 to 3 years now. This is from Demos. It's a very cool US-made shovel. In their advertising, they show it like karate chopping cinder blocks and stuff. It's very cool, but the thing about it is that it's also very heavy. And frankly, when you are digging in the dirt or in the snow or something, this is a little bit too heavy and a little too finicky. Like all of these little pins and stuff, they get really hard to use if it's cold or anything like that. So I'm not gonna run this again. I will save it. I might use it in the 4Runner or something. Now these mounts, these are from Rego Fabrication. Really, really cheap, and I'll have a link in the description for, I believe Amazon for them. They use these quick fist rubber mounts that are very, very common. They're designed to essentially attach a shovel to a roof rack or a bed rack, that sort of thing. And it's just really, really simple, super easy to install. Stainless hardware, so it won't rust on you. So you can essentially put whatever shovel you want in this spot. For those of you who don't know, my day job is actually with American Expedition Vehicles, AEV. They make a lot of Jeep stuff. They don't make a lot of Tacoma stuff. So I need to rep the company that employs me 9 to 5. So we've got an AEV shovel. This has like a US-made hardwood handle, so this should last a long time. And I can show you how easily this attaches. You just put it in here like that, and it fits exactly on this rack. So I'll go pretty much to the tightest spot there, and then the tightest spot there. And that is awesome. Won't rattle, has enough space so it won't touch. That is perfect. I love that. That is sweet.
With the shovel done, let's mount the rest of the gear I need to carry for the BDR trip. I shortened the mounting bolts for my MaxTrax traction boards, so I can stop cutting my hand when I wash the roof of my truck each time. I then installed the MaxTrax back onto the Prinsu rack using Prinsu's awesome brackets that make lining up all these pins very easy. On the passenger side of the bed rack, I mounted 2 Rotopax mounts. One for the water can that I've had for years and used to carry on my roof rack, and another for a new gas can that I purchased for this trip, since there are several segments of the BDR without fuel for hundreds of miles. The last tent-related thing to solve was how I'd secure a ladder to the bed rack. My daughter Marley was going to be using the tent on the Oregon BDR trip, so obviously it was very important that she felt secure and safe when using it. After some trial and error, I purchased some swivel hooks that are designed to work with the ladder I received from Go Fast Campers. I purchased a piece of steel flat rod, which I cut, drilled, painted, and mounted to the bed rack on the passenger side rear. To make double sure that the ladder wouldn't slip, I also bought some extra strong utility straps to secure the ladder. Spoilers, this setup worked excellent on the Oregon BDR trip.
Okay, well, we got the tent ladder, the shovel, and the Rotopax all situated. The last thing I'm gonna solve, hopefully, is the Softopper. This thing, it's great in a lot of ways, but it lets in a ton of dust. Especially once I added in the roof rack, it made it worse. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use 2 different products that are just straight out of Lowe's. I went and got these at Lowe's. So we got 1" by 1" expandable foam that we're going to apply to the cab right here against the cab on the back of the bed. And then at the tailgate, we have some industrial strength, super strong Velcro tape. The Softopper actually came with Velcro tape because the back lip here has Velcro right there, but it peeled off within like a couple days. So hopefully with this industrial strength stuff, it'll at least last a week and it'll last the length of the trip, or maybe longer. So what do you say? We'll put these 2 things on and then we will put the Softopper back on and we'll be good to go for our trip.
The plan was to add foam to every large gap exposed around the base of the Softopper. For the bulkhead, I added a small piece of foam on each end and then another continuous layer of foam across the entire side. By the way, this was very high quality, dense foam, but it took a while to rise to its full height. To hopefully reduce how much dust got in around the back flap, I also added small pieces of foam to each end of the side rails. I then applied the industrial strength Velcro tape to my tailgate. This tape was noticeably stronger than the original tape that came with the Softopper. With all that out of the way, it was time to put the Softopper back in place. but we aren't done improving it yet.
Hopefully the awkwardness and the time lapse like came across. Once you do a bed rack, a soft topper is no longer awesome because it's no longer flexible. Diminishing returns if you keep adding and adding to it, in my opinion. And that's why probably in the future I'm gonna go with something different. But hey, the install looks awesome. I'm very happy with it. I'm now going to address one of the funniest critiques I've ever gotten with the soft topper, which is the condition of the rear window. Not great, but hey, you know one cool thing about it? You can always spend 90 bucks and get a new one. So let's swap this in and at least it'll look cool for a while. Yay, yay me. Oh, it has been like a 3-week-long marathon, just like project after project after project, getting this all ready for this trip. Oh, it looks pretty good for like not buying a bunch of extra stuff, just kind of reconfiguring things I already own. I'm very happy with it. I think we at least filled most of the gaps on the soft topper, so I think it'll at least be better. And the back window looks better, so everything is better. So thumbs up for better. Hey, and this is the official Oregon BDR t-shirt that I designed. Everybody that's going on the trip gets this t-shirt, so there you go. This has been a really fun 3-part series getting ready for the Oregon BDR trip, but I actually have one more bonus video coming at you, which is doing a mechanical inspection, making sure the suspension, drivetrain, engine, all the fluids are good so that I can go 750 miles off-road without breaking down. So double fingers crossed that that doesn't happen. But again, stay tuned for the full series coming up this fall. I can't, by the time you watch this, I'm already out doing it and probably have gotten back because I probably won't edit this until I get back. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching again. God bless all of you, and adventure is out there. Ha! Bye.